The late bloomer. Every morning, Mara watered a plant she was sure would never grow. It sat on her windowsill, a small clay pot holding nothing but dark soil and a thin green stem that hadn't changed in weeks. She had bought it on a whim from a street vendor who promised, with a knowing smile, "Give it time." Time, Mara thought bitterly, was exactly what she didn't have. At 27, she felt behind in everything. Her friends were getting promotions, buying homes, announcing engagements. Their lives moved forward like fast trains, each milestone another station she had somehow missed. Meanwhile, she was stuck in a job she didn't love, in an apartment that felt more temporary than comforting. And every day, she watered that stubborn, unmoving plant. At first, she had been hopeful. She'd read about it online, followed the instructions carefully. Just enough sunlight, just enough water. She even whispered encouragement to it once or twice, feeling silly but oddly comforted. But weeks passed, and nothing happened. No new leaves, no height, no sign of becoming anything more than what it already was. "Just like me," she muttered one morning, pouring a small stream of water into the soil. It soaked in quickly, disappearing without a trace. She stopped checking on it after that. The watering became mechanical, something she did because she had already started, not because she believed in the outcome. One evening, Mara stayed late at work, watching the glow of her computer screen blur into the dark office. Her coworkers had long since gone home, probably to dinners, partners, or plans she wasn't part of. She opened her social media out of habit. Another engagement, another promotion, another smiling photo captioned with words like grateful, blessed, finally. Mara sighed and closed the app. The silence around her felt heavier than usual. "What am I doing wrong?" she whispered. There was no answer, only the hum of the air conditioning and the quiet ache of comparison. That weekend, Mara visited her grandmother. Her grandmother lived in a small sunlit house filled with plants of all kinds, tall ones, hanging ones, flowering ones in vibrant colors. It was impossible to sit anywhere without brushing against a leaf or petal. "You look tired," her grandmother said gently, handing her a cup of tea. Mara hesitated. "I feel like everyone else is moving forward and I'm stuck, like I'm not growing at all." Her grandmother smiled, not dismissively, but as if she had heard this kind of thing before. "Come," she said, leading Mara to the back garden. There, among rows of thriving plants, was a small patch of soil with nothing in it. Mara frowned. "Is this empty?" Her grandmother nodded. "I planted something there months ago." "Months?" Mara blinked. "And nothing's grown." "Not above the surface," her grandmother said. Mara crouched down, studying the soil as if she might catch it in the act of growing. "Then how do you know it's not dead?" Her grandmother chuckled softly. "Because not all growth can be seen right away." Mara said nothing. "The roots grow first," her grandmother continued. "Deep, steady, unseen. If you judge too early, you might think nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, everything is changing." Mara glanced at the patch of soil again, then thought of the plant on her windowsill, the one that hadn't grown, the one she had already given up on. The next morning, Mara returned home and stood in front of the plant. For the first time in weeks, she really looked at it. The stem was still thin, the soil still plain. Nothing obvious had changed, but something in her perspective had. She touched the edge of the pot gently. "Maybe you're growing," she said quietly, "just not where I can see." From that day on, she kept watering it, but with a different kind of patience. She stopped checking for daily progress, stopped measuring it against anything else. Instead, she focused on small things in her own life. She signed up for a class she had always been curious about, without worrying if it would lead somewhere. She started taking walks without her phone, noticing the rhythm of her breath and the sound of her footsteps. She put more care into her work, not for recognition, but because she was there. Nothing dramatic happened, no sudden breakthroughs, no overnight transformations. But something quietly began to shift. Weeks later, on an ordinary morning, Mara reached for her watering can and froze. There, just above the soil, was a tiny new leaf, so small she almost missed it. She leaned closer, her heart lifting in a way she couldn't quite explain. It wasn't impressive, it wasn't fast, it hadn't followed anyone else's timeline, but it was growth, real, undeniable growth. Mara smiled, not just at the plant, but at the understanding settling gently within her. She wasn't behind, she had simply been growing roots, and now finally something was